My friends, I want to share with you the most pivotal moment of my entire life, the night when fear stood between me and everything I had worked toward, and how I discovered the eternal principles that would not only save my mission, but transform the lives of millions. It was 1908, and I was a young, ambitious reporter who had just been granted the impossible 3 hours with the steel magnate Andrew Carnegie, the richest man in the world. But as I sat in that opulent library, surrounded by leather-bound wisdom and the weight of opportunity, something far more powerful than Carnegie's wealth was present in that room: my own paralyzing fear. Here was a man who could change my destiny with a single word, offering me the chance to study the success principles of America's greatest achievers. Yet my mind was screaming warnings. You're not worthy. You're just a small-town nobody. He'll see right through you. The very fear that could have silenced me forever was about to rob the world of the philosophy that would later become Think and Grow Rich. But in that moment of terror, something extraordinary happened. I recognized that this fear, this ancient enemy of human achievement, was not my personal demon. It was the same force that had crippled countless souls throughout history, the invisible chains that kept the worthy in poverty and the capable in mediocrity. Through my subsequent 25 years of research, interviewing over 500 of the most successful individuals of our time, from Henry Ford to Thomas Edison, from Theodore Roosevelt to John D. Rockefeller, I discovered something profound. Every single one of these titans had faced the exact same enemy you're facing right now: fear. And more importantly, every one of them had learned to destroy it using specific teachable principles. Tonight, I'm going to share with you the most closely guarded secrets I learned from these masters, not theories or philosophies, but battle-tested strategies that have created more millionaires and transformed more lives than any other success system in human history. You see, fear is not your enemy to manage or control, it's your enemy to completely destroy. And by the time our journey together ends tonight, you'll possess the exact blueprint that the greatest achievers in human history used to obliterate fear from their consciousness forever. The transformation you're about to experience isn't gradual, it's immediate, it's permanent, and it starts the moment you truly understand what I'm about to reveal. The hidden architecture of fear, what the masters taught me. During my first interview with Henry Ford, he told me something that shook me to my core. Napoleon, most men are defeated by fear before they ever begin to fight. But then he leaned forward and whispered the secret that would change everything. Fear is nothing more than a state of mind that can be controlled and directed. This wasn't philosophical speculation. This was battlefield intelligence from a man who had revolutionized an entire industry while others said it was impossible. Through my research, I discovered that fear operates through what I call the 6 ghost fears, 6 primary forms that keep humanity in bondage. The fear of poverty, which paralyzes action and destroys initiative. The fear of criticism, which silences authentic expression and creativity. The fear of ill health, which creates the very conditions it fears. The fear of loss of love, which destroys relationships through possessiveness. The fear of old age, which accelerates the aging process itself. The fear of death, which prevents truly living. But here's what those 500 successful individuals taught me. These fears are not natural human conditions. They are learned behaviors that can be unlearned through specific mental disciplines. Thomas Edison, who failed over 10,000 times before perfecting the light bulb, shared with me his revolutionary perspective. Napoleon, I never failed 10,000 times. I discovered 10,000 ways that didn't work. Fear of failure is impossible when you understand that every seeming failure is simply data leading you closer to success. This is principle number 1. Fear cannot survive in the presence of definiteness of purpose. When your mind is completely occupied with a burning obsession, a definite major purpose that consumes your thoughts, there is literally no mental space for fear to occupy. The successful individuals I studied didn't overcome fear through willpower. They starved fear to death by feeding their minds exclusively with their definite purpose. John D. Rockefeller demonstrated this when he told me, "From the moment I decided to build the greatest oil company in the world, every thought, every action, every decision was filtered through that definite purpose. Fear became irrelevant because my mind was already occupied." But definiteness of purpose alone isn't enough. You must understand principle number 2. Fear dies when you develop specialized knowledge. I learned this from the great inventor and industrialist Charles Kettering, who revolutionized the automobile industry. He explained, Napoleon, fear thrives in the darkness of ignorance. The moment you develop specialized knowledge in your chosen field, fear loses its power because you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. Fear of poverty disappears when you develop specialized knowledge that makes you indispensable. Fear of criticism vanishes when you become an expert in your field. Fear of failure becomes impossible when you understand the principles that govern success in your area. But specialized knowledge must be combined with principle number 3, the Mastermind Alliance. Andrew Carnegie revealed this secret during our very first meeting. No individual can achieve great success alone. But when 2 or more minds work together in harmony toward a definite purpose, they create a third mind that is greater than the sum of its parts. And fear cannot survive in the energy of a properly coordinated mastermind. I witnessed this principle in action when Carnegie brought together the greatest minds in steel production. Individually, these men might have harbored fears and doubts, but when their minds blended in harmony around the definite purpose of steel production, they became an unstoppable force that revolutionized American industry. The autosuggestion revolution, programming fear out of existence. The most profound discovery of my research came through my study of autosuggestion, the principle that your subconscious mind will accept and act upon any thought that reaches it, regardless of whether that thought is true or false, positive or negative. Émile Coué, the French psychologist whose work influenced my research, demonstrated that the human mind cannot distinguish between a real experience and one that is vividly imagined with emotion. This means you can literally program fear out of your consciousness by replacing fearful thoughts with their positive counterparts. I learned the practical application of this principle from Napoleon Bonaparte himself through historical study, and later confirmed it through my interviews with contemporary masters. Bonaparte understood that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the repetition of brave thoughts until bravery becomes automatic. Here's the exact formula that every successful person I studied used to destroy fear through autosuggestion. Step 1, identify the specific fear that limits you most. Don't generalize, be ruthlessly specific. Instead of, I'm afraid of failure, identify exactly what failure you fear. I'm afraid my business idea will fail and I'll lose my savings. Step 2, create the exact opposite statement with absolute clarity. Transform, I'm afraid my business will fail, into, I am building a successful business that serves thousands of customers and generates abundant wealth. Step 3, repeat this positive statement with emotion and visualization twice daily, once upon waking and once before sleep, when your subconscious mind is most receptive. Step 4, take immediate action that aligns with your positive statement, no matter how small. Action reinforces belief, and belief destroys fear. Theodore Roosevelt, who conquered his childhood fears to become one of our most fearless presidents, shared with me his personal application of this principle. Napoleon, I was a sickly, fearful child, but I decided that I would not be controlled by fear. Every morning I would repeat, I am strong, I am brave, I am capable of anything I set my mind to accomplish. Then I would immediately do something that required courage, even if it was just speaking up in class. Over time, courage became my natural state. But autosuggestion reaches its full power only when combined with principle number 4, applied faith. The strategic destruction of fear. Master planning principles. Fear thrives in chaos and dies in the presence of organized planning. Every successful person I interviewed possessed detailed, written plans for achieving their definite purpose, and these plans became their weapons against fear. When I studied the business empire of John Wanamaker, the department store pioneer, I discovered his secret. Detailed planning eliminates fear by providing specific action steps for every possible scenario. Wanamaker explained, Napoleon, I don't fear competition because I have detailed plans for expanding my business regardless of what competitors do. I don't fear economic downturns because I have plans for thriving in any economic climate. I don't fear failure because my plans include specific responses to every possible setback. This is organized planning in action, creating detailed written plans that address every aspect of your definite purpose, including specific responses to potential obstacles. But the most powerful planning principle I learned was from Andrew Carnegie himself, the principle of burning bridges. Carnegie revealed, Napoleon, most people maintain escape routes that actually guarantee their failure. They plan for success while keeping their old job just in case. They pursue their dreams while maintaining backup plans that drain their energy. This divided approach invites fear because it signals to your subconscious mind that you don't really believe in your definite purpose. True organized planning requires burning the bridges, committing so completely to your definite purpose that failure is literally not an option. This level of commitment doesn't create fear. It destroys fear by eliminating all alternatives except success. I witnessed this principle when Henry Ford decided to create the Model T. He didn't just plan for success, he bet everything on that single vision. He told me, Napoleon, when you commit everything to your definite purpose, the universe has no choice but to support you. Fear dies the moment you eliminate all other options. But even the most organized planning requires principle number 7, persistence that cannot be defeated. The persistence that destroys all obstacles. Final victory over fear. In my study of over 500 successful individuals, I discovered that persistence is the quality that most clearly separates those who succeed from those who fail. But more importantly, I learned that persistence itself is the ultimate destroyer of fear. Fear exists only when you believe that obstacles can permanently stop you. Persistence is the absolute knowing that no obstacle is permanent, no setback is final, and no goal is impossible if you refuse to quit. The most powerful demonstration of this principle came from my study of Fannie Hurst, who received 36 rejections before selling her first story. When I asked her how she maintained her persistence, despite so much rejection, she revealed the secret that every persistent person understands. Napoleon, I never saw those rejections as failures. I saw them as necessary steps toward my inevitable success. Each no was simply clearing the path to my destined yes. Fear was impossible because I knew with absolute certainty that persistence always wins. But persistence alone isn't enough. It must be intelligent persistence, guided by organized planning and definite purpose. Thomas Edison demonstrated this when he explained his approach to invention. Napoleon, I don't just persist blindly, I persist intelligently. Every experiment teaches me something new. Every failure brings me closer to success. I'm not afraid of failure because I understand that failure is simply success in progress. This is the critical understanding. Persistence transforms failure from an enemy into an ally. When you know that every setback is simply feedback leading you toward your definite purpose, fear loses all power over you. I learned the ultimate persistence principle from the great financier J.P. Morgan, who told me, Napoleon, most people quit one step away from success. They fear the next obstacle will be too great. But I've learned that the darkest hour is always just before dawn. When obstacles seem insurmountable, it means you're close to breakthrough. Persistence at this moment destroys fear forever because you discover that you're stronger than any challenge. This brings us to the master principle that encompasses all others, the development of a success consciousness that makes fear impossible. The success consciousness, the state of mind that makes fear extinct. Through my research, I discovered that every truly successful person had developed what I call a success consciousness, a state of mind so completely focused on success that fear cannot enter. This isn't positive thinking or mental gymnastics. This is the complete reorganization of your mental habits around the absolute certainty of your inevitable success. Andrew Carnegie described this state perfectly. Napoleon, when you develop a true success consciousness, you don't hope for success or wish for success. You expect success as naturally as you expect the sun to rise. In this state of mind, fear is not overcome. Fear simply doesn't exist. A success consciousness is built through the daily application of all 7 principles. Daily definition of purpose, beginning each day by writing and reviewing your definite major purpose with emotion and visualization. continuous learning, constantly expanding your specialized knowledge in your chosen field, mastermind participation, regular coordination with other minds working towards similar purposes, positive autosuggestion, systematic replacement of all negative thoughts with their positive counterparts, applied faith, taking action based on your absolute knowing that success is inevitable, organized planning, creating and revising detailed plans for achieving your definite purpose, relentless persistence, continuing toward your goal regardless of obstacles or setbacks. When these 7 principles become daily habits, they create a mental fortress that fear cannot penetrate. I witnessed this fortress in action during my final interview with Andrew Carnegie. At 84 years old, he was planning new business ventures with the enthusiasm of a young entrepreneur. When I asked him if he ever feared failure at his age, he laughed and said, "Napoleon, I developed a success consciousness 60 years ago. Fear is as foreign to my mind as failure is to my experience." The Transformation Protocol, your 30-day fear destruction plan. Now that you understand the 7 principles, I'm going to give you the exact protocol that will destroy fear from your consciousness within 30 days. This is the same system that the greatest achievers in history used to build their success consciousness. Week 1, foundation building. Day 1 in 7, write your definite major purpose in specific, measurable terms. Read it aloud twice daily with emotion and visualization. Begin identifying your 6 primary fears and write the positive counterstatement for each. Week 2, knowledge and alliance building. Day 8-14, begin developing specialized knowledge in your chosen field. Read, study, and learn for at least 1 hour daily. Identify potential mastermind alliance members and begin building these relationships. Week 3, faith and planning development. Day 15-21, create detailed written plans for achieving your definite purpose. Include specific action steps, timelines, and responses to potential obstacles. Practice applied faith by taking bold action toward your goal daily. Week 4, persistence and consciousness integration. Day 22-30, integrate all principles into daily practice. Face 1 fear daily through deliberate action. Maintain persistence regardless of results. Monitor your thoughts and immediately replace any fearful thoughts with positive autosuggestion. By day 30, you'll have developed the beginning of a true success consciousness. By day 90, this consciousness will be firmly established. By day 365, fear will be as foreign to your experience as poverty is to a millionaire's. But here's the crucial point. This transformation requires more than understanding. It requires immediate, consistent action. Call to action. Your mastermind journey begins now. My friends, you now possess the same knowledge that created the greatest fortunes and most remarkable achievements in human history. But knowledge without action is worthless. The moment you stop listening to these words, you must begin applying these principles. Fear is not your permanent condition, it's your temporary obstacle. Every successful person who ever lived had to destroy the same fears you're facing. The only difference between those who succeeded and those who failed was the decision to act despite fear. You have a choice to make right now. You can continue living under the invisible chains of fear, watching your dreams fade while others achieve what you only dare to imagine. Or you can make the decision that will change everything, the decision to destroy fear forever and claim your rightful place among the successful. This moment, right now, is your personal crossroads. The same opportunity that Andrew Carnegie offered me in 1908 is before you today. The same choice that every great achiever faced is yours to make. Subscribe to Napoleon Hill Mastermind Journeys because your transformation has only just begun. These principles require daily reinforcement, continuous study, and the support of like-minded individuals who refuse to accept mediocrity. Hit that notification bell because I'll be sharing advanced techniques, success stories, and the deeper secrets that I learned from the masters. Strategies so powerful that they were considered too advanced for my original writings. But most importantly, I need you to prove to yourself that this transformation is real. Here's what I want you to do. What is the one specific fear that has been holding you back from pursuing your most important goal, and what exact action will you take in the next 24 hours to move toward that goal despite that fear? Don't give me a general answer. Don't tell me you'll try or think about it. I want you to identify the specific fear. Name the specific goal it's blocking, and commit to one specific action you'll take tomorrow. Not next week, not when you feel ready, but tomorrow. Write your answer in the comments below. When you declare your commitment publicly, you create accountability that transforms intention into action. Your comment might be the inspiration that helps another person break through their own fear. Remember what Thomas Edison told me. Napoleon, the value of an idea lies in the using of it. You now have ideas worth millions of dollars. Their value to you depends entirely on how quickly and consistently you use them. Fear has controlled humanity for thousands of years, but it doesn't have to control you for one more day. You have the blueprint, you have the principles, you have the power. The only question remaining is, will you use it? As I told Andrew Carnegie all those years ago, and as I'm telling you right now, the time for great achievement is always now. The person for great achievement is always you. The power for great achievement is always within you. Your mastermind journey to destroy fear forever begins the moment you decide it does. That moment is now. Make the decision. Take the action. Claim your victory. The masters are waiting to welcome you into their ranks. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, but only when fear is no longer welcome in the halls of consciousness.